Hello everyone, and a very warm welcome to Renfrewshire in Scotland on the south side of the River Clyde, known for its shipbuilding in past years but now more for leisure. Paisley is the biggest town in the area, lots and lots of history here too. The 19th century town hall in the town square, just one of the attractions here, and just along the road is the Braehead shopping centre and arena, which this week has been hosting the Gruyère European Curling Championships 2016. We have an exciting day's action ahead. It's gold medal day here, and it's the women's final between Russia and Sweden. I'm Alison Walker, and alongside me, Logan Gray. We'll be bringing you live commentary on the whole game, and there is what they are playing for, the magnificent European trophy and medals. We can't wait for this one, Logan, can we?
We certainly cannot. I think it's going to be a great final between two great teams. Two of the more inexperienced teams here this week, but their performances would definitely make you think otherwise. They've been absolutely outstanding, both of these teams, and whoever wins will be a worthy winner.
Right, well, let's get the lineups then.
And skip Anna Hassenborg.
So those were the lineups, and here are the round robin standings. Scotland led the way but beaten in the semi-final. Sweden just behind them. Czech Republic and Russia 6 and 3. Impressive stuff this week from them. And 4 and 5 for Switzerland and Germany. Norway and Finland holding things up 1 and 8 this week. And all smiles at the moment, but I'm sure the nerves must be jangling inside. This is how they got there. Russia defeating Scotland to get to the final, and Sweden beating the Czech Republic, and Scotland claiming that bronze medal by beating the Czech Republic yesterday. That was their 7th consecutive medal at a European Championship. And I just want to get this game going, get it underway, try and focus on the game, not think about the occasion too much. I bet they can hardly believe they're in this final, Logan, because this was a team who'd never been to the European Championships before.
Absolutely, and they caused a massive upset in the qualification for Russia, defeating Anna Sidorova, who we've become accustomed to seeing at all international championships for the Russian women's side. But they were pretty dominant in that 5-game series, winning by 3 games to 1. So it's one thing just doing it once, but doing it 3 times, it's a really great achievement in itself, and it's great to know that there's good strength and depth in the Russian system.
This could be quite a tussle between these two. Just action on one sheet of ice here. So all focus on this final.
Well, and a bold start from the Russians, throwing a guard to start off the game. That's quite pleasing to see, really. I think you would definitely forgive them if they wanted to play in the house and play defensive first end, but an aggressive move. And actually Sweden doing something similar and throwing a corner guard here, so Maybe some fireworks in the first end.
Gå, gå, gå. Ni kvar mycket. Gå, gå, gå. Lite till, lite till. Bra start, Pia. Ja, bra.
Julia Guzeva, the 27-year-old, lead for Russia. Plays out of Krasnodar Curling Club. Born in Kazakhstan originally. First year on the team. What a year it's been.
Well, that was just coming up a little bit shy of the house. Free guard zone rule still in effect here, so Sweden won't be able to remove these two red stones just yet.
Sofia Magiak, the lead for Sweden. Lives in Hornosand and plays out of Sundbybergs Curling Club. She's a trainer at the Swedish Curling Academy. She's produced some outstanding curlers in recent years.
Well, that one there, I think they would have liked to move the red a little bit further over, but at least clears a path for draws around the corner.
Galina Arsenkina, 25, from Moscow. So her first year on the team. World Junior bronze in 2012. That's that yellow one out.
Yeah, now Sweden are going to try and tidy things up a little bit. Nice hit and roll there by Arsenkina.
Agnes Nockenhauer, 27. She has a bit more experience, certainly at international level, than some of the others. And that will stand her in good stead, I'm sure. Rules of play for this final, 8 ends this time. Round robin was minimum of 6, remember. Time out and the thinking time too. How much, Logan, do you read into the fact that Sweden defeated them in the round robin? Does that make any difference at all?
I think if you're Sweden, it gives you a lot of confidence, and if you're Russia, it maybe just sharpens you up and makes you aware that you just can't take this Sweden team for granted. I mean, Sweden really kind of almost rolled that game in the round robin, scoreline 11-4 there. I highly doubt it's going to be that one-sided in this game, especially given the performance of the Russian team in the semi-final. So Agnes Nockenhauer actually has 2 European gold medals, but she's never played in the final before. That's a super shot there by Agnes, gets them all going and opens the centre right up. Yeah, Agnes was the alternate
yeah,
for the Maria Pritz side.
And Mia Pritz is coach here this week.
Perfect, absolutely perfect. I think just getting the first 2 was good, but getting the back one's a bonus as well.
Yep, lovely shot.
Well, Sweden maybe didn't get this corner guard as wide as they would have liked, so it's an opportunity for Russia to draw around and be reasonably close to the button. But they're a long, long way out here, Vasileva.
This is Sarah McManus, third player for Sweden. from Gothenburg originally.
Okej, försiktigt då. Försiktigt. Perfekt linje. Perfekt linje. Bryt nu. Japp.
Played in the Women's World Curling Championship in 2015 in Sapporo in Japan. And Sweden finished 7th in that.
14-4.
Well, absolutely perfectly in behind the guards there. You can see Sweden very much with the upper hand here in the first.
Julia Vasileva, a youngster in the team, just 21. What a moment for her. A student from St. Petersburg.
Just trying to make a corner freeze here. Oh, lovely shot.
No sign of nerves there.
No, I think Sweden will have to move them around a little bit. Well, I think by the fact that Sweden are looking at splitting the forefoot here, then Sweden must be lying shot at the moment. Well, just somewhere around the tee line is the goal. Finds a perfect spot.
Yep, Skip's happy with that.
Well, Russia choosing to hit the open one here. They could go after the red behind the guard and try and hit it onto the yellow and spin them both towards the center line. That would be the more difficult shot with a higher reward. Going for the safety shot here instead, though.
Russian skip Victoria Moshieva, 26, plays out of Adamant St. Petersburg Curling Club. Born in Mias in Russia. And she's also a student.
Well, safely removes that Swedish stone. I don't think Sweden will want to hit and roll behind the cover here. They'll want to go out to the open side. Don't want to risk Russia making a freeze.
Jag tror du kan ta lite mindre, Sara. Ja. Vad säger du? Ja. Vilket är typ samma ställe där den låg.
Anna always gives everything a good clean before she sets off.
Every player has their own routine, don't they? She's 27 now. She seems to have been around a long, long time. 5th in the Europeans in 2014 as skip.
Well, she just rolled a little bit too far here. So is Russia lying in second shot position now?
And we talked about the Russian team not being the usual team. This is not the usual team that we're used to seeing at the Europeans either.
В принципе, можно и контролом, он виден почти полностью. Но контролом просто, если меньше попадем, то он вылетит. Да.
Как изнутри по той стороне она ходила? Ну, ты показала, что я поуже поехала, но я его
Well, I was quite surprised that Moiseva didn't go after the red stone behind the guards to take out with their first stone. It's quite a cautious call. Going for the more difficult shot this time though. Maybe just needed that first one just to get her eye in a little bit and settle the nerves.
First stone of a European final is a big deal.
Легко. Нет, 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 пока не попадаем. Надо ждать. Ждем. Пока нету. Ждем. Будет. Есть, есть. Юля, roll it, right?
Oh, has she got it out? She hasn't, but sticks around for first and third position. So it could be a takeout here for Sweden to score two.
It's a good effort from Moiseva. Difficult shot.
Den där curlade ju väldigt lugnt. En sarg mitt på linan, va? Jag curlar inte mycket. Ja, helt upp hela vägen. Den var inte så hård heller. Jag gillar den. Ja, sarg. Ja. Tack.
Yeah, this is Victoria Moiseva's first appearance at a women's international event, but she has played in quite a few in juniors, universities and mixed doubles.
Så efter att inte jättemycket heller.
She was actually the alternate for Team Sidorova when they won the two World University gold medals in 2013 and 15.
So she's been in around in the scene, hasn't she, for a number of years. Still very different. Stepping out there as skip. Last stone of the first end. It's been a good first end in this final. Lots of stones in play.
Oh, they've been a little bit fortuitous here and actually almost gets three. If I had a little bit more running on it, it could have been a three.
Still a super start for Sweden. And it will certainly calm the nerves, getting two in the bank there. And after one, it's Russia 0, Sweden 2.
Я думаю, может быть, надо было тебе гард привезти. Ну, не туда лезть. Ну, в принципе, он такой 4. Jag spelar 8 som är så bra. Det blir bra.
Bra linje.
Inte så mycket hjälp, men det känns bra i sliden.
Second end then of this gold medal game.
Lägg dit den bara, brudar. Lägg dit den bara. Har råd att kalla.
And Sweden striking first. Long, long way to go though.
Kalla gärna. Våga, våga.
Sweden going into the house to start the second end. They've earned their two-shot lead. It's pretty much a dream start. I think in any game of curling, when you've got the last stone, the goal is to put two on the board and immediately put the opposition on the back foot.
Yeah, you're always chasing. Russia chasing now.
I'd say we've generally seen that the ice conditions have been a little bit straighter when drawing to the wing than drawing into the middle. Sometimes the corner guard is just not making it wide enough, and that one there a little bit close to the forefoot and a little bit long. So good guard there from Sweden. Good length on the two stones there, but not quite on the center line. So I think we've got a technical timeout here, some sort of an issue with the handles. So the umpire Dor Borthwick's going to come out to the hog line and just do it the old-fashioned way, by eye.
Hard to imagine now that that's how it all used to be done.
It's been done quite a few times this week. There's been a few faults. There's the umpire that I spoke about there, just making sure that the stone is cleanly released before the hog line.
It has to be totally released before the line, not even any of it allowed to go over.
I wouldn't like to be the umpire who pulls a stone off in that position after the handle's gone faulty. I think it's more just a formality.
Oh, and it's gone all the way.
Well, she would have been as well hogging it because she's not done anything. So it needs to be clearly released before the hog line, and you can see how it can...
Yeah, I think that's quite difficult to judge.
It certainly is, Alison. And that's where the handles should come into their own, but I think they can be a little bit faulty at times. There's the green lights coming on to indicate a clear release, and that's monitored by the magnets underneath the hog line.
It is a really good introduction into the game.
Well, after that miss there by Russia, Sweden just choosing to get the guards off, and quite often you see this, that if there's a miss by either lead, then the end might well be run through. Arsenkina just misses the run back, but clears the way in for the next one.
He's had a busy week, but he's the ice maker as well, Mark Callan. Done a fantastic job. Always busy.
Yeah, he's probably been cursing these handles all week. Yes. Mark Callan, also known as Crafty.
Happy with this line.
Well, a good spot there. Agnes made a really good start to this game. Remember that huge takeout she threw in the first end? It really gave Sweden the momentum to go on and score two. Well, a bit unlucky there to leave a centre guard Arsenkina, but a great shot to make the run back and peel that yellow out. Just a reminder that generally when you don't have the last stone, you want to play into the middle and kind of clog it up. Whereas when you do have the last stone, you want to keep it as open as possible. So Russia would have liked to get that centre guard away from the centre line to keep things nice and clear. A bit of a let off here for Russia. Goes all the way to the back of the tee line, and now they can play a draw of their own. Russia are choosing to come around the other side with this one. not seen any draws down this line.
Vasileva played a nice stone in the first end, and that's another nice one from her.
She seems to have her draw weight today. 2 super draws in the game already for Vasileva.
There's Ingemar Edström, Swedish coach. He must be delighted with the way his team has performed this week. Been with them a couple of years now.
Sarah McManus just misses the run back.
He's known as Ingo, in case you want to know. And Sergei Belanov, oh, shaking his head.
Well, the coaches aren't allowed to communicate with the players, so
8 years he's been involved with the team. And plays out of the Albatross Curling Club in Kaliningrad in Russia.
well, they'd like to throw a guard on this one. Important to make it a good one.
You can see the stone travelling and the power of the sweeping.
Well, the guard's quite long. That's kind of halfway up the free guard zone, so should be enough room here for Anna Hasselborg to be able to come around it on the right-hand side of the guard as you look at it just now and remove it from the house.
Borde vara lika rakt hitåt också, va? Jag tror det. Ja. Eller vad tror du? Ja, jag tror att det kan finnas lite mer klar om något, men jag tror inte det är mycket. Nej. Ja, färg.
Just not taking a huge amount of ice here, so expect to see a reasonably positive weight. We've talked a lot about the releases of the players today, or this week, sorry, and Anna Hasselborg isn't exactly a textbook way of
There's
releasing
a gentle
the stone.
shove at the end, isn't there?
Quite often you'll see the players kind of offset the handles a little bit and return it back to 12 o'clock, but Anna kind of starts it at 12 and then turns it from there. So each to themselves, whatever gets it down into the right position. Here's another look at that delivery that I was talking about. So the handle's very, very straight, and then she kind of twists it off straight.
And pushes.
There's no question that it works though. Absolutely perfect shot. There's a chance for a double takeout here though for Russia. The other option would be to hit and roll behind the guard.
Just misses the other one.
Yeah, just got caught in between the two there, really. I think they were going for the double. Well, now a chance for Sweden to lie two and force Russia to score one.
Tyckte du att det bröt mycket på gadden, Anna?
Nej, väldigt kontrollerat.
Ja.
För att min bröt lite bara. Det var första spår också. Ja. Ja, fan. Det har den.
Should be quite an easy shot here for Anna Hasselborg. Just needs to be wary of rowing back Yellowstone.
9,5.
Wow! Nej!
En.
Nej!
9,5.
André!
Mycket fart.
André, var med! Ja!
Nej!
Nej! Wow!
Nej!
Nej, nej, nej!
Nej!
Ja! Nej, nej! Ja! Nej, nej, nej!
And really nicely executed by Anna Hasselborg. 2 yellow counters. And the best Russia can hope for is just getting their one.
Well, there's no doubt that Sweden have made the stronger start to the game. Nearly scoring 3 in the first end and with a very comfortable second end as well.
Good crowd in watching, lots of support from Sweden, as you can see. Last stone of the second end. That's the time, will give you an idea of the hog-to-hog timing.
A bit of a test of the nerves here to see Victoria Moisheva having to draw the forfeit. Looks pretty good, 14.4. Should maybe be just past the T-line.
No problem at all for the Russian skip, but it is just the one, and it means they still trail. He's pretty pleased with that. Good to get those ones out the way, isn't it, and give you a bit of confidence. So after 2, Russia 1, Sweden 2.
Just a few short years ago, Las Vegas first emerged on the world's curling radar. Today, it's the world's curling hotbed, with 2 Continental Cups already in the attendance record books, a third one ready to rock this coming January, and the biggest one of all, the World Men's Championship, coming in 2018. For complete details, visit LasVegasCurling.rocks.
You gotta be there. Las Vegas rocks.
Окей, 5 хорошо. 5, 6. Это чуть больше повалит, чем прошлый. 6. Это не, нормально идет, нормально, как прошлый. Для шестерки нужно. Вот сюда можно, вот сюда.
You're watching live coverage from the Gruyère European Curling Championships 2016. We're at the Braehead Arena in Renfrewshire in Scotland. Been here all week, bringing you all the action. The round robin playoffs, the semi-finals, and now this is finals day. This is the gold medal game between Russia and Sweden. I'm Alison Walker, and alongside me Logan Gray, guiding you through this game. And we've had some really good stuff so far. And Sweden in control at the moment, 2-1 ahead.
Another aggressive start here in the third end. This is a similar start to what we had in the first. That worked out well for Sweden. That was a really nice draw by Victoria Moisheva in the second end, a real settler. If you're a golfer, it's kind of like making a 6-foot putt on the first green. It's a shot that you kind of should be making, but until you actually make one and get that confidence under your belt, then it can just play in your mind, and especially as the game goes on, if you've not really been throwing a lot of draws, then it can just be a bit of a worry.
That is the measuring instrument there we are seeing, which can come into use occasionally.
Lite mindre förra. Lite mjuk här.
Genom hög. Nej! 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 Ja! Här själv. Här själv bara. Nej, nej, nej. Var med. Ja! Nej!
Well, they've got options here. They either go onto the one in the house or they go onto the centre guard and chip it, a bit like that. It's a very clever shot there by Sweden. Well called. Opens up that shot in the house and rolls in as well. Looks like Russia are going to go for it here.
And they've been quite an assertive team all week, and it's worked for them, so you'd think they would keep doing what they've been doing.
Well, a good guard. And this is very much the Swedes' game plan, is try and get something set up with the lead stones and then start trying to blast things to make the deuce. So it's a very aggressive start to the end, and then they kind of play a little bit defensive in the middle of the end, and then we'll try and get that multiple score with the last stone in a safe way.
So Agnes had her eye on both of those reds, and away they go.
She seems to like throwing this way, makes another great double peel. Leaves the one in the house this time. So with there being no guards in play, Galina Arsenkina is going to play the takeout on the wing. And thus needs to get by the guard.
Oh, and it's heading right out. It's a sixth sense as well that the players just get their feet out of the way at the right time, don't they? Don't touch the rocks. So much to think about. Completely different type of shot for Agnes this time.
So Subin to try and keep this one straight. Just slightly hits on the wrong side, but still quite early in the third end here.
That was our stone in the first end. Bang, bang, bang. Good stuff. And that really was a bit of a statement of intent at that stage, Logan, wasn't it?
Oh, well, this could be a crucial error here from Vasileva. I've seen a couple of great draws, but a big miss on the takeout there. And now a golden opportunity here for Sweden.
Like a blank canvas now.
So they've got a nice chance to draw around that corner guard. This is pretty much a dream situation now for the Swedes. Nothing in play apart from a corner guard coming around. Absolutely no risk whatsoever. I said no, it's not been curling that much going off the centre, and I know the likes of the Norwegian men's team were really having some problems with it earlier in the week. That one's not quite got fully hidden. Russia should be able to call on their shots in the first end down this line. They should know how much it's curling.
Линия отличная. На контроле. Свич. Ничего.
So what's the line like here? It will be revealed very shortly. There we go.
Свип тогда. Да. Давай. Отлично.
Well, does enough to push it through and roll into the open. Really nice shot there by Vasileva to make up for that previous mistake.
Jag tror inte mer, Anna. Okej. Bra fart! 10-8! Ja! Fart! Fart! Nej! Wow, helt upp. Bra start. 10-7. Det är bryt där. Ja, det är mycket mer kallt. Bra spel. Bra.
Doesn't manage to make the roll. So at the moment it looks like Russia kind of off the hook. Sarah McManus just not quite able to make that draw with her first stone.
Контролом. Мне очень хочется больше, потому что там с той стороны он прям, как-то ныряет. Может, центра нет, но...
Just about hear a pin drop in this arena and just the rumbling of the stone heading down the ice.
Легко. Нет. Давайте, да.
Yeah, that's why they call it the roaring game.
Он стоит. Ну, я уже туда.
Well, neither team able to even get close to making this hit and roll at the moment. Perhaps just playing it a little bit too safe. They don't want to risk going all out for the roll and rolling right out of the ring. So unless we find a good hit and roll here from Anna Hasselborg, it looks like this end is going to be blanked.
Det kommer lite kall när den blir lite lösare. Kommer bara pressa på slutet kanske bara.
Men Saras dragning kvalar inte heller.
Nej, inte det heller. Jag tror att det kommer gå rakt. Nästa fint spåra. Ja.
So again, just a little bit safe. There's a little bit of a shorter distance to roll this time for Moiseva. So that could make this hit and roll just a little bit easier. Here's another look. Anna Hasselborg coming across the face on this attempt. The previous takeouts she played going into the stone on the other handle.
So let's see where this one finishes up. See a little bit of a grimace from Victoria.
I think she's okay. Just overthrew it a fraction.
Ja, men vi kan inte gärna, alltså gul gärna vi inte, det är väldigt lätt. Och röd spelar ingen roll. Men vi ska sova.
Jag klippte ju på insidan där.
Jag tänkte så. Ja. Vad sa du? Eller, alltså det är ju jättesnäckt för att sätta den.
Well, I think at the moment it's the firepower of Agnes Nockenhauer that's really making the difference for Sweden. It is only a one-shot game, but it just kind of feels like Sweden are in control at the moment. With their ability to peel the centre guards, they're not really getting themselves in any trouble.
So last stone of this third end. It should be fairly straightforward in terms of a blanked end, which suits Sweden. They keep the hammer and hope to build for the next. There we go after 3. Russia 1, Sweden 2. There are the numbers so far in this gold medal game. 2 at the start for Sweden. We expected it to be close, and so it is proving thus far. Early stages yet, though.
I think Sweden will definitely be the happier of the two sides. They've not found themselves in any trouble really at any point in the first 3 ends.
It's just more opportunities that they've missed to have a bigger score. There's Sofia, the lead player, 81% for Sofia.
Jobba ute nu, de är på linjen nu. Kolla upp. Kolla upp! Försiktigt. Sara bara rakt, Sara bara rakt. Kolla upp. Räcker där, räcker där, räcker där, räcker där. Vill kunna rulla nu.
Her dad was a Paralympic coach in 2014. Whole family involved in curling, as you often find in Sweden. Yulia Zyeva, the lead for Russia, 75%. Not quite as good.
No, generally you'd be looking for your lead in the mid-80s at least, so Zyeva has just struggled a little bit. So I think we're starting to see a little bit of a pattern here. Both teams want to be aggressive and get some guards up, but then there's no doubt that Sweden certainly wants to keep the centre of the play open. They're trying a tick shot here.
It's proved pretty effective so far for them.
Thank you for your effort. Thank you. No, it's a great effort. Thanks.
Good bit of sportsmanship there. Making sure the paper that was falling was out the way.
The last thing you want to happen is the confetti to fall in front of the stone and throw it offline, whether it's your stone or your opposition's.
Kina, 79%.
That guard just a little bit close to the other red, so there's a good look at the sweeping and the communication of Team Russia. Sweepers will generally feed back the weight or the speed of the stone to the skip, and the skip will tell them the line, and they'll work out whether to sweep or not based on that. combined.
Agnes Knockenhauer, 81% for Agnes. She's certainly performing well in this game. Let's see what this one does. There we go.
It didn't look quite as clean a throw as her ones in the previous ends.
Отлично. 5. Лучше 5. Лучше 5. Пятый, шестой. Пятый будет. Юля первая. Хорошо, надо будет подвалить, он очень широко, если честно. Шестой. Свип, свип, свип. Все равно надо. Да-да-да. 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 Вес супер. Да-да-да. Ищи. Молодец.
Another guard from Russia. Quite a lot of debris out in front of the house at the moment. But with that guard being quite long, it looks like Sweden are going to try and play around it and remove the shot in the house. Is it by? It is. I love the takeout around the guard. Doesn't quite manage to roll over to find the cover, so Russia will be able to remove that.
Yep, it's very vulnerable there.
Давай контрол, Уль. Контрол. Воу, воу. Тройка. Легко. Свип, да. Свип. Свип, да. Держать. Да-да-да-да-да-да. Еще немножко. Да-да-да-да-да-да-да. Отлично. Молодец.
Another good takeout, but neither team can really get a stranglehold in this end at all. Nothing in the house, just a wall of stones. Be a big risk for Sweden to leave that red as tight to the house and on the centre line as it is. So I would expect to see them play a takeout here. Yeah, so they've decided that this one just in a little bit too much of a threatening position.
So Sarah McManus has that task. Removing that red just at the top of the house. She managed it.
Well, this is the first real chance in the fourth end, and it's come to Russia. A clear path on both handles for the Russians to draw around that guard. We've seen a couple of good ones already from Vasileva.
%78% for the whole tournament. That percentage is, remember. It's coming in and round now. You can see it coming around.
Well, they've got a very good line, but might have just wanted that a little bit closer to the button. It does look like it's perfectly in behind the guard, doesn't it? So it's quite difficult for Sweden to try and make a takeout on it. They'll have to maybe raise the guard back here. So it will be the run back here for Sarah McManus. Oh, just hits marginally on the wrong side of the nose there. Doesn't manage to get the one in the house. So Russia can either throw a guard here or get another one in there to lie to. It's a good chance to force here for Russia now.
They could do with one closer to the button, couldn't they, Russia?
Yeah, I think if they had one closer to the button, there's no doubt they would have a better chance to steal. Here's one of these pieces of confetti.
Hey, she got it. Certainly not fazed by this European final, this Russian team. Taking the game to Sweden.
Да, но если мы везем туда, она делает двойной, у нее остается камень за гардом.
Мне пока очень нравится гард. Даже если она под него подвезет.
Сейчас 75 было самое начало.
75?
Да, здесь пошло просто пока.
Окей.
78% also for the skip for the whole week.
26! Не, лучше Юля, он не очень будет валить. О, нет, ждем.
Так, прямо очень близко. Это почти дома.
Нет, ждем. Галя, только Галя. Не.
Начало дома.
Oh, she went for the guard and she's thrown it a little bit too far, so Sweden the chance to make a double here. The only problem here for Sweden is that if they do make the double, then it does look like they'll be outside of the house, which would leave a draw for Russia, so they may well get forced anyway. So it's quite a tricky spot that Sweden find themselves in here.
What's the alternative to the double?
Well, if they wanted to be really aggressive, they could make some sort of a draw into line shot position and try and score two. But if you do make the double and Russia don't make the draw perfect, then you still got a chance to blank the end. And at the end of the day, a score of one's not a bad outcome here for Sweden. They would remain or regain their two-shot lead. So easy to make the double here, but I think ideally they would want to roll their shooter away as far away from the centre line as possible, just to make sure that they can score.
And Anna Hasselborg, good numbers, 83% throughout the week.
Yeah, it's terrific shooting. It's exactly where you want your skip to be. So that's a good shot there by Anna Hasselborg. Gets the shooter away. And as I suggested, it does open up the house for a draw for Victoria Moiseva, but she's going to be throwing behind guards that aren't really in a threatening position.
Я думаю, что такой же, как сейчас, нет? Ага, ну вот, в общем, такой же. Чуть вначале подождать, но довольно широко стоит.
Well, they've elected to throw the anti-clockwise rotation here. Chosen to go around the guard that's closest to the centre line, although it is really just covering the middle of the 8 foot. Good draw.
Yep, nicely done from Moiseva.
I think the Swedes were kind of banking on being able to see a piece of this to hopefully blank the end, but instead they're going to have to draw for one.
And the Russians have forced them into that position.
So good enough to force that draw by Victoria Moisheva. Got a little bit fortuitous with her first stone, but makes a super draw with her second, and now Anna Hasselborg is going to have to find the 4 foot. Well, 14.5 has kind of been the mark all week for the hog-to-hog splits. Looks like it's got a little bit of running on it. 14.3 should be fine. Unswept to the tee line.
Yep, almost perfect. And Sweden secure a 1. And still in control in this game. After 4, Russia 1, Sweden 3.
Just a few short years ago, Las Vegas first emerged on the world's curling radar. Today, it's the world's curling hotbed, with 2 Continental Cups already in the attendance record books, a 3rd one ready to rock this coming January, and the biggest one of all, the World Men's Championship, coming in 2018. For complete details, visit LasVegasCurling.rocks.
You gotta be there. Las Vegas rocks.
And number 5 then of this gold medal game between Russia and Sweden. And Russia with the hammer in this end, so let's see what they can make of it.
So again, Sweden go into the house to start the 5th end. They have a 2-shot lead, so they'll be really putting the onus on Russia to try and generate something and take a bit of risk that Sweden will be hoping to capitalize on. So Russia throwing the corner guard to the other side of the sheet from what we saw a couple of ends ago. See if they can get some more curl on that side. It was running a little bit straight, going from in to out over there.
Härligt Fia.
So good setup here by Sweden once again, 2 stones in the center line. And a nice look at the different tactics between the 2 teams here, in that in this position Sweden would probably be trying to chip that top guard off, whereas Russia maybe a little bit more aggressive in going for the freeze.
We haven't seen them do any of the chip shots like that, have we?
Vilken som?
Jag gillar den.
Ja.
And that's a pretty nice freeze there by Team
Nej,
Russia.
jag gillar inte den. Kolla, klippen.
Well, with the lead, Sweden certainly playing the more defensive strategy at the moment. And a mistake here from Agnes Nolkenauer. Doesn't manage to peel the guard, but maybe just rolls far enough to stop it being useful.
Мягенько тоже. Может далеко. 8. Воу, вес. 8, вес. Можно потянуть. Свип. Не надо, только линия. Воу, только линия.
Тогда нет.
Только вес, только вес.
Russia trying to make the freeze once again here.
Свип.
It looks like the Russian team just starting to settle in a little bit now, and the last couple of ends they've probably had the kind of upper hand. It was Sweden early on, but they had a good, Russia had a good fourth end and set up well here in the fifth.
Marginal i centern. Det är rakt där.
Vilken fart har du?
11. Kan vi spela upp den lite då?
Sweden don't want to get too drawn in here to a frenzy of stones around the centre line. They're going to play a takeout.
Safely through those two yellows, and away goes the red from Agnes Nolkenauer.
Oh, good crowd in attendance today. And they're being treated to some great curling. Nice shot there by Agnes to thread it between those two guards.
Я думаю, 0 здесь надо.
Хорошо. У нее сейчас тройка была.
Давай контрол.
So Galina Arsenkina is going to try and follow that one.
Same line.
For me, it's going to be interesting to see a bit of a mistake there. I don't know what happened. Catch the wide guard and probably move it into a better position actually for Russia, with it being a bit wider. They get a little bit lucky to run through and take the stone off the button as well.
He just catches it there.
Я уже, хотела, он не проходил.
Nej, du har den fan. Sa du sarg?
Sarg som?
Ja, eller en hack och vicka tjaffa så mycket som möjligt. Jag gillar sarg.
Well, Russia lying now. Yeah, as I was saying before, what's going to be interesting for me is to see when Russia decide to really kind of push the button and be more offensive. They're still playing quite a kind of balanced approach, not taking too much risk. But at some time, they are going to have to address the fact that they are 2 shots behind.
And we have seen that in the round-robin games.
Well, this could be the chance that they're looking for.
They watch and they wait for their moment.
Well, it's now become a good chance for Russia to score 2. The problem that they have here is making a roll into a position that doesn't leave a double takeout. It's going to be actually quite difficult. It may be better to roll away from the corner guards with this one and roll into the red stone and try and push them around.
О, легко. Свип. 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 Да-да-да. Да-да-да, еще немножко. Да-да-да, лежать будет маленький. Давай. Хорошо.
Well, not really what they're looking for.
That wasn't really one or the other, was it?
Gå nästan inte att träffa den för tungt.
Well, it's an easy double takeout here. It's not that easy to keep the shooter.
Nej.
There is quite a steep angle between the two to keep them, and we know how hard Sarah McManus throws these peels, so it'll be difficult to control this and keep it in the front of the house. So just really looking to hit an inch of the first one. And that was always going to be the problem.
Yeah, nice shot though.
Makes the double, spins out, but now the corner guard's wide open for Russia to come around. It's a great chance to score 2 now. But they still need to make a good draw.
It was all about the angle on that first, Logan, wasn't it? On that first stone.
Yeah, surprised they didn't just give it a little bit more time and consideration. This was always going to be the problem in going for that shot. Well, a good draw. I think it's still a little bit seeing from the hack. So
Just needed it to come round just a little bit more to your left there. Oh, let's fix your hair.
you won't see that too much in the men's final later on.
No, because they've all got short hair. Certainly Russia looking the more assertive team in this end at the moment. And they'd be very happy if they could get 2 for sure. But this team are going to do all they can to prevent that.
I think they've lost this one. There was a kind of sound of resignation in the sweeping calls.
Sense that, so a real opportunity for Russia. A huge opportunity for them. That's the view through the lens. Coaches recording and watching every move for post-match analysis.
Yeah, it's a great chance for Russia now. They can split the rings.
She's looking very relaxed about this.
Yeah, she looks like she's enjoying herself out there. Well, looks like a 2 is very much on the cards here with a good draw from Victoria Moisheva, and I think Russia would be more than happy to get in at half-time on even terms.
Russia already with one in there. And succinctly done from Shiva.
Мне кажется, у Гальки секундомер только 9,5 показывает. Сколько? 9,5. Малик.
Vilka jämsides med deras skotte här i? Vilka jämsides med deras
Ja,
skotte
exakt. Ja. Det kommer nu över er tjejer.
Oh, and another delay where we just catch a little bit of paper floating down.
Yeah, I think it's created some good entertainment. It's not affected the games too much either, so.
They're big enough to see. tiny little specks in. Anything can make a difference though, so... So safely gets rid of one. That was all they could manage.
It should be pretty straightforward for Victoria. She's been absolutely deadly in the takeouts. There seems to be a real confidence in her play today. I just wonder how much positive impact that win over Scotland has given this team yesterday. There seems to be a real belief.
Yep, we know they're good players, but the mental side of it's so important. And this, to get back on level terms with Sweden. Is it going to go out? Oh my goodness, it is.
Well,
so that is a mistake.
I think a jinxed her there. Slightly overthrown.
Can't quite believe that, Team Sweden, but they're still ahead after 5 and into the break. Russia 2, Sweden 3.
First end of the gold medal game here at the 2016 Gruyère European Curling Championships. Sweden against Russia. Sweden had the last stone advantage in the first end. Here's Anna Hasselborg delivering a killer blow to Russia. And a super start. Almost rolls far enough to get 3. It's a dream start for Sweden. Sweden 2, Russia 0. And here into the second end, another good end for Sweden. Forced Victoria Moisheva, the Russian skip, to throw this lovely draw down into the 4-foot circle. A real confidence booster, this one, for the Russian side. And they get their first point of the game on the board, 2-1. And then on to the fifth end, a well-worked opportunity by the Russians. Splits the rings with their first stone, sets up the score of 2, which should have been routine. Hits it a bit too much on the outside, and that one won't hang around. Only one in the fifth end, and at the halftime break, it's Sweden 3, Russia 2.
Надо продолжать. Хорошо, все. Сколько у нас времени? Времени хватает, но все равно вот на пустом месте не надо разговаривать. Вы себя прерываете очень. Простые броски, которые понятны, не надо их обсуждать. Поставили щетку и поехали. То секунд по 10-15 теряем. Оно, может быть, и не надо время, но вы себя расхлаживаете перед следующим броском. Да? Там, где надо подумать, а где не надо, ставьте и поехали. Все? Готовенькие? Давайте.
Ja. Nej, men så att vi ska... Fan vad skönt att vi inte tog en tvåa nu.
Ja.
Det var nice.
Ja, det är väldigt bra snack.
Finta henne lite, hooka upp den lite.
Ja.
Hon bara, här kollar du.
Anna, du tänker på allt. Du fick en 5 på din förra då. Bra, jag är alltid lite till. Bra slag 1.
Det ser riktigt bra ut.
Vi vill uppbjuda på med energi och bara...
Yes.
Hålla på.
So we know the score, 3-2 to Sweden thus far, and there are the percentages, and Sweden up in terms of the draws, pretty close in terms of the hits, and that narrow 3-2 lead over Russia. So we're all set for part 2. Some super stuff as we've just seen in that first 5 ends. I'm sure we can expect more of the same with this gold medal at stake for these two teams. I'm Alison Walker, and alongside me Logan Gray, bringing you live commentary on the whole of this game. A good crowd in here watching the action.
Well, it's going to be very interesting to see how Russia bounce back from that disappointing mess in the 5th end. They had a chance to tie the game, and given the dominance of Sweden earlier on, that would have been an incredible feat to make it a tied game. Victoria Moiseva missing a very basic, fundamental shot. Still a one-shot game here, though. I think Sweden will want to maximise this moment. Maybe smell a chance to really open the game up. If they could put 2 on the board and move ahead, then that would really do their chances of winning gold a lot of good.
Team talk-wise at the interval there, Logan, I think both coaches would be, apart from that miss at the end for Russia, both coaches have been reasonably happy with the way the teams have performed.
Yeah, definitely. I think they're executing their shots reasonably well. There's nobody out there that's looking uncomfortable. So I think it's just more of the same for both teams, and just tighten up on a few kind of half shots here and there. I think the coach might have had a little bit more of a job to do for the Russian team, just to kind of put it in perspective what they've achieved in the first half here, and that they've probably had the better of the play in the last couple of ends in the first half. So this needs to be more of the same from the Russians. Sweden have been pretty consistent throughout. So again, that tap back being called by Sweden rather than any sort of a freeze around the centre guard to try and keep it nice and open when they've got the last stone.
Galina Arzenkina, a bit down percentage-wise in this game. A couple of wayward shots.
Makes the hit and stick on the wing. I think it looks like another takeout on the wing here. Not a particularly positive move by the Swedes.
Magnus Knockenhauer from Stockholm. couple of years on this team.
Nej, nej, nej!
Wow! Helt upp!
Helt upp.
Nej, ligger på chapp.
Bra spel. 9,5. Bra, Gan.
Det är bra.
Well, that's in second shot position. Still a takeout being called here by Russia.
Svip! Wow!
Svip!
Wow! Svip! Svip!
Där. Där.
Svip! Okay.
Well, a nice shot there by Arsenkaran. Takes the play back towards the middle, but they've just rolled a little bit too far. And now Sweden have the chance to kind of hit and roll in behind their yellow corner guard.
11.
So you can see the port there between the two guards to be able to make contact with the one on the tee line.
11-3. Ren. Ja! Wow!
Ren!
Wow!
Bara
Wow! Upp!
Var nära! Ren!
Wow! Nej, upp!
Fia då lite! Anton, Fia!
Känn Fia, gå!
Well, have they covered the inside edge? I think they might have. Maybe not. So just need to roll another half stone over, and this shot would have been a much more difficult prospect.
Svip! Där! Wow! Linje wow! Wow! Дать! Ждем! Дать! Нет! Точно нет! Пока стей. Хорош!
Well, makes it to the nose, and Sweden will have another chance to try and make this hit and roll.
They can still see plenty of that red stone, can't they? Sarah McManus. More figures for this game as well, 60%. World Junior Champion in 2010, Sarah.
Just hits the wrong side of that one and rolls behind the center.
Здесь, ну, нормально валит. Таким же весом, как сейчас, колодка.
Ilya Vasileva, she's having a good game, 82%.
Пока нет. Точно нет, пока нету. Пока ничего. Ждать. Очень ждать. Юля. Давай. Вались! Да. Вались!
Wants this one to hang about if she can.
Хорош.
Well, a good shot to remove it, but not too much in play. This is the draw that I thought Sweden might play earlier in the end, and they turned it down in favour of a hit on the wing. So I'm going to try and draw around that yellow guard closest to the house.
Bra linje. Ligger till. Jättefin linje. Håll linjerna. Okej, var med nu, den bryter. Ja, ja. Håll linjen, måste. Helt inte, bak 4. Håll. Lite längre. Vi är väldigt tajt. Upp nu.
Well, plenty of running here. Want to keep it as high in the house as possible, and they need to be in shot position.
It's creeping, but it's okay.
Ты хочешь? Да. Не, так грибортом?
Да. Давай вот так. Мне кажется, тут сильно по краю должно повалить.
Можно чуть-чуть
Да,
больше.
если что,
Если
так.
что, от нашего, да. Главное в гард не врезаться. Чуть-чуть еще. Борт.
4 на 3, может быть, по широкой. По широкой, скорее всего, да.
Да,
Well,
хорошо.
Victoria Moisheva is going to come around the guard and try and tap that yellow through on the outside.
Главное просто, чтобы довалило. 4.
She can use her own red for a little bit of assistance if needed. Just deflect off it and push the yellow through. Definitely does not want to be on the tight side here and chip the guard. It could push that yellow straight into the house, and all of a sudden a score of 3 enters the equation.
73% for this game. I'm sure that shot at the end of the last end impacted on that percentage, because pretty much been playing a good game, Victoria.
Уже почти фриз.
That's a long way wide at the moment.
Not
What
shot
happened
stone.
there?
Jag hade där, va?
I think she's asking the same question.
I think that was just a little bit tentative, a little bit too scared about chipping that yellow guard into the house. Went a bit wide and a bit light as well. So now a glorious opportunity for Sweden to draw one in the lie two.
Ner mot locket där i. Ja.
She's going to have to find a good one with her last one, I would think, here, not to give up a 2.
I'm sure that's what she's thinking right now. Assuming that Anna makes this.
Well, that's it. Once you've had a miss, you always seem to be more determined to make up for it with the second one. So I think you're absolutely right. That is what she'll be focusing on.
You can't do anything about the one you've just thrown at that point.
Oh, this is short.
No, I'm sure she didn't think that Anna would do that.
Well, I think Anna Hasselborg at least indicating that may have grabbed something and slowed the stone down. She just went back to clean the ice a little bit there, so bit of a let off. And actually, if Russia could make this draw now, then so here's another look at it. Don't think there's anything that obvious that happened there, but you must feel that it has picked up. Yeah, so if Russia can make this come around and get fully in behind the red stone, the red guard on the centre line, then we could have a good opportunity to force or even steal here.
And she probably didn't think she would have this opportunity here. Has to make the most of it. It's certainly asking the question, isn't it, of Anna Hasselborg and her team.
Well, that's a beauty. That's an absolute beauty there from Victoria Moisheva. I wonder if it may just force Sweden to go for a more adventurous shot.
Well, they've all made those kinds of shots in their time.
Well,
And loads of experience in that Swedish camp, Logan.
well, they're just looking at the different raise options here to see whether they could score to. The draw itself is a really hard shot, so one risk that they do have is that get it a little bit too thick over here and remove their back yellow stone, then they could lose a steal of 4. So that's just something that they'll need to bear in mind when actually comes to executing the shot.
What is the safest shot for them?
Well, the safest shot is the draw for me. They've got the edge of the button there. They could draw down in there to get one. The one with the biggest reward is the angled raise that they're looking at just now. So kind of hitting half stone in the wide yellow guard, and that would give them a chance of scoring 2.
going safe. And still not the easiest draw in the world.
That's definitely not a gimme, this one. They've only got a few inches to work with. But I think it's the right decision. I think scoring one here in the sixth end, that gives them their 2-shot buffer that they've had since the first end. And for me, the angled raise, the reward probably isn't really worth the risk, and also the level of difficulty of the shot. So
it's just one more, isn't it? So let's see if this one works out for Sweden. Last stone, the sixth end.
So the communication here absolutely paramount here. It needs to be weight and line perfect. The weight's perfect, the line is not. So
it's the red. Wow, the table's turned in this end, my goodness. Plenty of drama. Good stuff from a Russian point of view. That stone from Moshieva doing the trick and putting the pressure on Anna Hasselborg.
Just a few short years ago, Las Vegas first emerged on the world's curling radar. Today, it's the world's curling hotbed, with 2 Continental Cups already in the attendance record books, a third one ready to rock this coming January, and the biggest one of all, the World Men's Championship, coming in 2018. For complete details, visit LasVegasCurling.rocks.
You gotta be there. Las Vegas rocks.
Great crowd inside here watching the action in the Braehead Arena in Renfrewshire in Scotland. Gold medal game between Russia and Sweden. And very much advantage Sweden at the moment, a bit of momentum as far as they're concerned. We have a tied game in the seventh end.
Well, you know, that sixth end could have really gone either way there. And it does just come down to those key shots in the end from the skips. There with Anna Hasselborg's first stone, she comes up way short with a draw and a chance to lie 2 with a hammer. And that super draw from Victoria Mosheva really punished that mistake. And in real terms, if you think about that being a potential score of 3 for Sweden, it's instead of a steal of 1, just in those 2 shots that were played, it's a 4-shot swing. So that would be a huge boost for Russia.
And it's like starting again now, though, with Sweden with the hammer this time.
And that's what you have to do every single end. It is like starting again. You have to clean the slate. It doesn't matter whether you scored 4 or lost 4 or it was a blank end. You need to set out to perform in the same way every single end. And I think for Anna Hasselborg as well, I think she knows that she was extremely close to making that draw. So there'll still be a lot of confidence that she could take from that shot, and I know that she's got her draw weight in her back pocket. It was really just the line that was slightly misjudged. So
those inches, that's all it was.
I think we can be pretty sure now that this game is going to go right to the wire for the gold medal. So quite a defensive call there again by Sweden. They really seem to be extremely good at playing that tech shot. Sweden will want to Sweden will want to blank here in the 7th end. to take the last one into the 8th end. And that very much seems like that's what the game plan is by the shots that have been called here early in 7. Of course, the thinking of taking the last stone into the 8th end is that if it's a tied game and the two teams alternate scoring between now and the end of the game, then with 3 ends to play, then Sweden would have the last stone twice to the Russians once.
So it will suit Sweden not to score here. And Russia, of course, not to score either. All part of the tactics at this stage in the game.
Well, this is just what you need to do when you want to blank the end. You need to keep killing those Russian red stones, the ones in dangerous positions, and the ones nearest the centre line are the most dangerous ones. Given some of the peels that Agnes has thrown today, this one should be very straightforward. Oh, removes the other red as well, so that'll just make the peels a little bit easier going forward.
Clears things away.
Well, it looks almost like both teams are kind of accepting that this end's going to be blanked. I think Russia could have been a little bit more patient here and thrown a few more guards to try and get the force that they need. No, this one's going right through. Well, there'll be more important shots than that one today. That doesn't really have any impact on the end.
Да-да-да. Прямо очень идет, девочки. Мне кажется, хорошо. Юля. Да-да-да. Можно, можно. Да-да-да, девочки. Хорошо. О, молодец. Спасибо.
So, into the house, and this 7th end's become a little bit of a non-event here.
You know, players still find it useful to get pace and weight of shots here, don't they? It's all good banking information for the next end about the ice.
Yeah, and let's not forget it's probably buying them a little bit of time as well for the last few ends, so there's not too much thinking required here when there's only one stone in play. And the time clocks aren't really going to be an issue in this game anyway. Russia with over 18 minutes left for just 3 and a bit ends to go, while Sweden have over 13, so.
Oodles of time. especially in the last couple of ends where there might be some big decisions, big tactical decisions to be made.
Oh, good concentration there from Victoria Moisheva. There was a bit of some sort of noise or interference just as she went to kick out there, but still makes the shot perfectly. Well, hang in there, folks. Stay with us. The 8th end, there certainly will be a bit more fireworks, you would think.
This is just a means to an end. It's all part of the tactics. Important for both sets of players to keep concentrating, though. It may seem pretty straightforward. Don't want to leave anything lingering. Make sure you make your shots. The last stone for Anna Hasselborg and Team Sweden in this 7th end. Away it goes, away both of them go. That was the plan, so it's a blacked end. And we move on, all to play for in end number 8. Couldn't be closer in this gold medal game. Welcome back to our live coverage of the Gruyère European Curling Championships 2016. We're at the Braehead Arena in Renfrewshire in Scotland for this gold medal game between Russia and Sweden. What a great game it's been so far. Nothing to choose between the teams. 3-3 into this 8th end. Look at that. And that 7th end blanked. The calm surely before the storm in this last 3 ends. Alison Walker and Logan Gray bringing you live commentary here. Hope you're enjoying the action. 2 fantastic teams in this final have played superbly well throughout the week. And both desperate to win this gold medal.
Now we've seen this set up a few times throughout the game. I think Russia could have been forgiven for going into the house with their first stone, knowing that Sweden are going to throw the corner guard. It is generally deemed easier to be able to throw a draw and then the guard rather than the other way around. So much of the tactics is about predicting what your opposition is going to do next, and I think we all knew that Sweden were going to throw a corner guard here to try and score 2 in the 8th end. Well, it's a lovely draw anyway, and Sweden looks like they're going to play a freeze for the first time in the match. We've seen them playing kind of tick shots on the guards.
Two lead players, key players in the game, and Sofia Naberg's up on her opposite number.
She's had a great game, Sofia. That's another good freeze there. That was a bit of a strange one. Just a little bit too much running and the bounce off the Swedish stone at the top of the 8 foot. But Russia lying 2 here. Well, Victoria Moiseeva just doesn't look quite sure about this one at the moment. She's worried about this run back on the centre guard with the guard being tight to the house. So this shot, a little bit of damage limitation. I think she kind of wants to play around the centre guard. She's just worried she's going to make things better for Sweden if they don't get it in exactly the right spot. So
comparison of the seconds there. Swedish second, very much dominant.
Well, again, quite a defensive call here from Sweden. Don't really see the need to remove this one myself. It's in a not a very threatening position. They could be throwing a draw around the corner guard or even trying to move things around in the centre line. It's not the problem stone for me, that one. Well, I think Anna's realised that now. There's no point in playing those takeouts in the wing over there. It's just wasting stones, really. So she's starting to take a look at this.
Eller så går hon på den marginalen.
Sätt den lite där.
Yeah, what can we do about this?
Vill vi inte bara pila gard?
2s and 1s all the way.
Det är en bra rygg där ändå, fast den är skott.
Time då.
And 0-0 and then 7. So we have called a timeout here.
Jag var lite inne på om man skulle spela en sargfart.
Probably a sensible thing to do at this stage. As far as Team Sweden are concerned, also gives the chance for Russia to have a chat with each other.
Om man går på dem en bakre med hackfart och så spelar man marginalen.
Fast med hackfart kommer vi bara trycka den till bättre skott.
Det blir bara, vi rullar igenom och händer ingenting
Ja,
där.
nej, det var ju den.
Den gillar jag inte.
Tycker du, Maria?
Ja, jag tycker vi ska göra någonting med garden i alla fall.
Vad händer om vi bara klipper den då?
Det är ganska bra. I så fall kan man ju försöka spela den
Mot
hittas.
den. Ja.
Så jag tycker också inte att vi ska skjuta ner och röra, för den ligger bra.
Den ligger bra. Ja.
Den ligger väldigt bra.
Då lär ju de gadda igen.
För någon gång måste vi ju göra något, men frågan är om det är nu.
Men vi kan ju få en bättre
Vi
chans.
kan ju få en bättre chans, ja.
Så fort de visar halva så kan vi gå på
Så,
vilken.
Ja, det är det jag tänker. Så kanske spela ner den.
Spela ner den så då.
Ovansidan bara.
Yes.
Eller vad känner ni för något annat?
Den är ju väldigt tunn.
Nej, jag var inne på pila bara.
Ja, men det...
Jag gillar den. Vi kör på det.
Bara pila eller dubbel?
Ja, har vi dubbel, men pilen är ju viktigast.
Alltså hellre ljus och
Ja, ja, absolut.
inte liksom bara
Exakt.
skickar in.
So Maria Pritz coming down
Jag tycker det här är helt rätt svar.
Ja, jag tycker också det. Det ligger fint där.
to give her advice. Hugely experienced Maria.
9 sekunder.
Well, it looks like they're going for the slash double here. Pia gives it the nod of approval. Yeah, it depends on how attacking you want to be here. I kind of like playing the run back and rolling to a second corner guard on the other side. I think that would really put them in a strong position in the end. So this is maybe slightly more of a defensive call. And Sweden do seem to want to keep the blank option alive by getting rid of this wide one. I would be pushing a little bit harder to get a score on the board here in the 8th end, and maybe even a couple if possible. So with Russia still lying in shot position, then they're able just to throw the guard back on. So this is why it was important to try and move the shot and get Sweden lying in a shot position, because Russia can just protect what they've got at the moment. Now the guard's just overcurled a fraction and a little bit long, so now Sweden can make a play in the house.
Okej, 11. Okej, säker sarg då.
Comparison of the third players. And it's the other way this time, Vasilieva ahead of McManus.
Yeah, I don't think Vasileva's done anything incredible in this game, but what she has done is the really simple things extremely well, so that's what you need.
She's been pretty steady. They spread things around a bit there, McManus.
Looks like it might be good enough for Sweden to lie shot position. Got another timeout here.
Ну, в принципе, попробовать вот сюда снять, это вариант. Но единственное, что тут ошибаться вообще нельзя с ним.
У нас ближе? У нас ближе.
Либо
Наши
вести
ближе,
от
да?
него. Можно привести вот так.
Да.
Down comes
То есть,
Sergei
если
Belanov.
заходить, то под него. Тут полкамня торчит.
Ну, вот так, типа.
Нет.
Been coaching this team for around 7 or 8 years, so
Наш лучше тот.
Да,
Да, вроде. Да.
Ну, смотрите, два варианта. Вид, время идет. Иди
Я
сюда.
слушаю.
Да. Значит, два варианта. Привести сюда, но камень стоит на хороший тап, они тапы хорошо делают.
Да.
более безопасно сделать камараун так, оттолкнуть его, выбить или оттолкнуть и отвалиться сюда.
Очень сложно, он стоит прям, если я делаю...
Бочок надо делать.
А,
надо
вот
не...
сюда, да,
Да,
имеете
вот
в
сюда.
виду?
Ну, задача отвалиться лучше того камня.
Ну да, да.
Но у тебя здесь есть упор вроде как какой-то. Это побезопаснее.
Либо подвести вот сюда, вот так, вот так.
Ниже тогда надо.
Ниже
Да,
нельзя вообще, а вот так на атаку хотя бы. То есть, да, она будет это делать, но у меня будет стоять свой камень.
Мне нравится выбить.
Выбить.
Да.
Хорошо, давайте.
Давайте вот. Поняла, да? То есть задача такая, вот, чтобы свой отскочил вот в эту сторону, отсек вот
Да,
тот камень.
да, спасибо.
Таньке.
Я думаю, что колодкой.
Надо колодкой, да, делать. Единственное, что мы попадем в пол камня, мы колодкой можем его не выбить, обязательно надо дальше.
Давай борт.
Давай
Если
борт.
что, он сюда
Да.
пойдет.
Ну, я думаю, что вот так,
Валит,
не
да?
не очень валит. Ну, мы на борте же стоим.
Sweden yellow, Russia red stones, remember. What's their concern here, Logan?
Well, I think their concern needs to be this yellow stone in the front of the 8-foot circle there. It's in a really useful position for Sweden. From the point of view that if Russia did manage to draw one around in behind it, then it's just a short race for Sweden to be able to promote their own stone and remove the Russian counter. So Russia, rather than going for the steal here, will try and lie to and try and get the force. I think it's a good call. They did talk about playing the draw around, but I think this Yellowstone's too dangerous to leave. Perfect shot there.
Yeah, well played, Russia. Get rid of one problem.
Vilket linan?
Vad sa du?
Vilka linan?
Ja.
Comparison of the skips there. Hasselborg ahead in terms of the hits and draws, but not too far ahead in terms of the overall percentage. And both skips have played some nice stuff in this game.
Oh, great effort by Anna Hasselborg. Makes the takeout around the corner garden, rolls back towards the centre. Could be good enough for shot position. It's tight. And it's almost the same takeout again here for Victoria Moisheva.
Сейчас было чуть послабее, да, но было добавлено.
So she doesn't just have to get the Yellowstone out, she also needs to control the shooter here to lie to.
Такой же вес! Легко! Свип! Да! Свип! Да! Свип! Да! Да, да, да! Давай, давай, давай! Держи! Да!
So needs to get it past the back one. It's a lovely pair of takeouts from Victoria Moisheva.
Yeah, Sweden asked her the question and she knew what she had to do.
I think it's been a really well played end by Russia.
Very nicely done. Away goes that yellow. And
Ja, vad vill ni ha? Vapen.
So last stone of this 8th end in this gold medal game. 3-3 at the moment. What can Sweden do here? Just guiding this one down into the middle, and no problem at all for Sweden. Still so close. The Swedish crowd urging their team on there as we get to the tail end of this final. Narrow lead for Sweden.
Just a few short years ago, Las Vegas first emerged on the world's curling radar. Today, it's the world's curling hotbed, with 2 Continental Cups already in the attendance record books, a 3rd one ready to rock this coming January, and the biggest one of all, the World Men's Championship, coming in 2018. For complete details, visit LasVegasCurling.rocks.
You gotta be there. Las Vegas rocks.
End number 9 then in this gold medal game. Russia with the hammer. What can they do in this end? No team has managed more than 2. It's been mainly about ones here.
So in terms of acceptable outcomes here in the 9th end, Russia will not want to be forced to 1. That's an absolute no-go, because then Sweden would be down the last tied game with the last stone. A blank end would be okay, or score of 2 or more would be okay for Russia as well.
Minimum 2 really, isn't it? To give them that 5-4 lead, and then it's anybody's game.
Sweden will want to force Russia to score 1. That's the real dream scenario. So you would expect Sweden to be the aggressor here in the 9th end. Most of the game has seen quite defensive curling from the Swedish, so
But still all to play for, Logan. Absolutely no guarantees for the win for either of these teams yet. Everyone on the edge of their seat, waiting to see what's going to develop here.
good setup play.
Det finns en clearing här också. Jag kan gilla en till.
Jag gillar också det. Inte riska nollan.
Looks like there'll be another freeze here from Sweden, and then I would fully expect to see some takeout start to come down from Russia. Neither team really giving an inch so far in the 9th end. Perfect stone placement by both.
Lite tajt. Nej, bra linje. Aldrig. Aldrig.
Ingenting. Bak 8. Bak 8 själv.
Så mycket träff som möjligt. Ingen rull i din, Sara.
Bra sagt.
Well, a slight mistake there, just bounces off the freeze, but not too much harm done.
There's a wee groan of frustration though.
It did just move the
Не очень хочется вот так снимать
second
пока.
shot stone up a little bit to be closer to the red on the button. It's going to look a little bit lonely in there in a minute once Russia remove this other yellow.
Легко. Оп. Нет, точно нет. Ничего. Юля. Стей. Только Юля. Только Юля. Окей.
Well, this is quite high at the moment. They're not going to make the roll inside.
Bra Agnes.
Что думаете? Можно попробовать вот так, конечно, снять.
No, it's kind
Мы
of
можем просто... Да.
an interesting point in the end where Russia almost need to decide what they want to try and achieve here, because they want to give themselves a reasonable chance of achieving either outcome, especially if it's to be to go and score 2 here. They need to use all the stones they've got. If they do decide that it's not really a good enough position to go for it and that a blank end, then it's maybe the time to start tidying things up.
Вот так точно нет. То есть только если с этой стороны.
They can't sit on the fence after this next stone, really, can they? It's one way or the other.
Ну так нет. Так мы он
Don't want
внутрь
too
пойдет,
bad
так мы
outcomes.
хотя бы его просто вниз уберем. Просто сюда сейчас лезть немножко опасно. Мне кажется, не нам это нужно.
Но он, скорее всего, закатится, если мы 2 будем снимать.
Мы можем один просто снять. Но она может пробить тут, в
Центр
принципе.
неплохо, по-моему, у нас все равно такое будет.
Окей, то есть вот этот не трогаем, просто один снимаем.
Да, я думаю. Мне кажется, пока нормально.
Russia red, Sweden yellow stones.
Да?
Воу! Тут желтый еще.
Julia.
Мимо.
Well, the less said about that one, the better. Alison, that's a huge miss there.
I wonder how costly that could be for Russia.
I think she just went all out there to try and make the double on the 2 yellows at the front of the house and didn't take care of the first one. So Sweden now lying shot position in there and are able to play a guard. They want to stop Russia hitting onto their own red and pushing the yellow through.
Jättefin linje. Börjar vi. Perfekt linje. Lägg den hög. Bra linje. Tryck lite över skall. Försiktigt. 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 Behöver sitta. Behöver sitta. Sitt, 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 sitt.
Ja, так, типа,
Ага. Не через лицо, просто вот, просто так.
So it's quite clear now that Russia are
Чтобы вниз пошел.
trying to tidy up here. They definitely don't want to give up a steal. So just trying to blast as many stones out of play as possible here.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Чуть-чуть.
Well, just clips the second one into the house, but opens up the centre line. Starting to look difficult that Russia will be able to blank this. Eighth end, ninth end, sorry.
Det riktiga är ju den då! Lämna in händerna där, så då kan de ju spela den och vara samma.
Okej, eller garda våran. Garda våran då.
Gillar det?
Ja, det är bra. Det blir kort dubbel då.
Sweden not wanting to give Russia any help in removing stones at this point. They want to make sure there's a score. So choosing to throw a guard, although they're only lying one in there at the moment. I think they were going for a guard there and they've overthrown it, and that will give Russia a great chance to remove a few stones from play.
Надо больше борта, вот этот надо убирать. Через 3 камня борта не хватит. Контрол.
Well, there's a good chance here for Russia to lie two. They could make a takeout on the two yellows in first and third shot position.
She's 94% for 9 hits. Iliana Vasileva.
They've not chosen to throw too much weight at this. I think I would be quite keen to make sure that all the yellows went out of the house. They do just.
That was pretty effective from Vasileva.
Yeah, it's a great result. Really good separation on the two reds. So a bit of a turnaround here in the ninth end. It looked like it was going in Sweden's favour, and now Russia looking good.
And that's a peach of a shot from the Russian youngster.
Anna Hasselborg with a control weight takeout on that red stone next to Sarah McManus's brush. Just needs to be careful of the yellow at the front ring there. You don't want to touch that one.
So skip stones in this ninth end.
Great effort, great effort. It was a long roll to make, and she just about got there.
Inte släpp den, bra spel, eller bra skippa.
Sometimes if you shout a lot, it works.
And sometimes it doesn't make any difference.
She wasn't far away. It was such a good effort. As you can see there, still plenty of it for Russia to see.
Oh, this is going close to the one at the front ring. Have they got it by? They certainly have. Nice shot.
It was very, very close.
She's getting good at that.
Ja, den rörde sig ganska mycket. Ja, jag tyckte den rörde sig rätt mycket.
So another stone down the same line. That's what they're playing for.
Hennes var 11.
Hennes var 11-7. Fia hade 11 på
A
henne.
bronze medal, a gold medal rather.
Hon upp den här perfekt. Gillar ni sen? Ja.
Gillar du isen, Sara?
Ja.
Well, Sweden need to play the takeout on that red stone just thrown by Victoria Moiseva. Easy to make the takeout, not easy to find the cover required. Because Russia are lying second shot out on the wing.
So look out for the protection for the cover here when the Yellowstone rests.
Yeah, needs to make a big roll. Needs to make a bigger roll. Another super effort here by Anna Hasselborg. At least makes things a little bit more complicated for Victoria Moiseva's last stone of this ninth end. Trying to get over behind that Yellowstone. Did get partially in there.
That was such a good effort from Hasselborg. But maybe not quite enough. Let's see what Moiseva can do here.
Well, we have seen the ice just a little bit straighter from in to out, so that'll be something to bear in mind here for this last stone. Needs to curl.
Is it going to go far enough away?
Oh, I think it's just one though.
Похож на пятый. Пятый супер. 5-6. 6. Лучше 6. Да-да-да, пониже, надо еще второй. Да-да-да, давайте, ближе, девчонки. Давай. Еще. Дотереть, супер идет. Давай. Еще, ближе. Супер, свип. Молодцы.
Well, I wonder what this 10th end has in store for us in this gold medal game. The women's final at the Gruyère European Curling Championships 2016. What a super final it's been. So close all the way through.
Yeah, Sofia Mobergs just went for a tick shot and just glanced the guard. Would have liked to push it a little bit further over. Still opens up the center line though.
Супер! Молодец, отлично. Оль, не уходи.
Now, quite often you'd see a team with the last stone getting one into the house and trying to control the end from there. Going for the tick shot and doesn't get that one either, so...
Doesn't take it much, doesn't take it really at all to make any difference.
Yeah, actually quite a good situation here for Russia.
Sorry.
It's the kind of thing that the teams will play out in practice and try different permutations, and if we go here then they go there, and that sort of stuff. So it's obviously the way that Sweden feel that their best chances of winning will come from.
You've always got to imagine that the opposition will make their best shot ever, and you have to react to whatever that situation is. Play out those scenarios so that you're catering for all eventualities. It's that nicely placed stone, but not quite behind the other red.
So there's going to be a lot of takeouts here from Sweden. Oh, nearly gets the one in the house as well. Agnes Knochenauer has been on fire this morning.
Powerful and accurate. Just missing that last red there. Oh, look how close it was.
Well, you know what? If they managed to pick that one off the button there and get the two guards going, then it'd almost be game, set, and match.
Супер.
Stänga den, dra den igen. Ja, bestäm du. Spela den, men spela upp lite. Se till att vi rullar av om vi inte har den.
Well, by the amount of ice they're giving here, it looks like they might be going for the run back. Slight risk in this is that you get it too close to the nose and you jam it onto the one in the button. Goes so close again. You can almost feel the Russian team's sharp inhales every time the stone goes flying by that one in the house. Great effort.
And after the drama of going for the big hits, we have the gentle, delicate touches of Vasilieva.
Можно Юля, надо бы повалить до центра. Супер.
Another guard, quite close to the house. So maybe a chance for the double once again here. Some rogue confetti once more.
Oh.
That was a hard one to catch. Lite över Karla.
Maybe just splits the tension a bit there. This is important here for Sweden. This time, no, not quite.
I'm sure you're starting to see a pattern here. Russia are really just guarding that stone in the forefoot for the gold medal lives.
Second stone for Vasilieva.
Чуть жестче. Подождать немножко.
Если что, Юля.
Юля. Болит очень.
24, 25.
Юля. Очень болит.
Юля, вали.
Давай, давай, будет.
Валить надо.
Жестче, девочки, как последний раз. Давай. Еще, ближе. Давай, давай.
Well, this may be a slight mistake here. This guard is quite a bit longer, and Sweden might just choose to move the one in the house this time to give them some more room to work with for the final and potentially winning shot of the game. So a bit of a mistake there by Russia. Well, gets rid of it.
Well, it lingered there quite a long time, that red stone, but it's gone now.
Russia in a bit of trouble here now. Probably need to get rid of that yellow stone because it's in such a good position for Sweden. It's all about setting it up for a good last stone.
Yeah, Sweden must be feeling fairly confident at the moment, I think.
Но у нас в эту сторону ролл был. Да, но мы свиповали всю дорожку. Хочешь поменьше? Чуть-чуть. Давай.
There really has been nothing between these two teams today. It's anytime you think one team's getting the upper hand, then the other one comes back.
Yeah, great start for Sweden, but Russia came right back into it.
Well, Russia have never been ahead in the game either, so they've done well to keep pace with Sweden. Three stones to come here, and we still don't know who's going to win. Well, Russia could do with getting this stone underneath the long guard. It looks wide at the moment. Finds their way behind the corner, which could give themselves the chance to lie two, which is an okay scenario for Russia. Not exactly what they would be looking for. Sweden aren't interested in that one in the house at the moment. It's more about just getting this guard off.
Making sure they've got a clean run at it for the last stone.
Well, I'm surprised that they're peeling it in this direction. It looks set to come in off the wide one. And by playing it the other way, they might be able to pick off the one in the tee line too, which would make their lives easier for the last stone. This could be one of those moments where, you know, you're under pressure, you're feeling it a little bit, and you choose your kind of preferred handle just to make sure that you make the shot. So maybe that's what the thought process is here for Anna Hasselborg. It's definitely a little bit edgy out there at the moment.
Well, that prize is so close. So close. But it's not over till it's over.
Ну, единственное, что она может все равно делать. Ну, просто поставить рядом с 4 футами, чтобы не было либо меньше диапазон вести. Ну, наверное, бить ей попроще. Ну, да. Вообще, тут такая зона, мне кажется...
So time isn't an issue for the Russian girls here. Over 6 minutes of thinking time remaining, so... You know, if I was them, I would be giving it a little bit of sportsmanship here and having a nice long discussion just to put ice on Anna Hasselborg a little bit, who's bound to be feeling a little bit nervous.
Yep. Her last stone beckons. And the likelihood is she will have that stone to win the European title.
Хорошо. Ну, дом, конечно, преобладаю inte mycket där.
They're covering it up quite well if they're nervous there, Logan.
Yeah, look quite relaxed and definitely focused. So what Victoria Moisheva will want to do here is, one, get in the house. That's the first aim. But secondly, put it in a real nuisance position for Anna's last. Try and block the path in. Put something kind of in around the top of the 8-foot circle in the centre line and force Sweden to have to draw around it.
Make that last shot for Sweden as difficult as possible. They only need one, Sweden, remember, so this has to get into the house. And it does. Is that enough of a nuisance?
It's not bad. It's not bad. It's better than coming down and putting it at the top of the 4-foot for a wide open takeout. They would like to hit a little bit further down there, maybe another 18 inches. You see, this draw is not a gimme. Firstly, Anna Hasselborg needs to get past the wide yellow guard at the top of your screen there. And then she needs to wiggle it past the red at the top of the 12-foot, sorry. But we have seen her throw a couple of great draws down this out-turn side towards the home end. So she should know exactly what the ice is doing and have a couple of good memories to recall to give her confidence to make this shot. Well, 50% on 4 draws. Let's not forget that some of them she was drawing to almost nothing. Her draw weight's been excellent today. So just needs to find the 8-foot, needs to get past the wide guard first. Needs to get past the guard.
Oh my goodness, is it? And it isn't. And they can hardly believe it. She cannot believe it. Anna Hasselborg distraught there. And what an end to this game, Logan. What a turn-up. It just shows it's not over till it's over. And it is Russia who are the 2016 Le Gruyère European champions. What a turn-up. Fantastic result for Team Russia. They can hardly believe it. European champions, final score, Russia 6, Sweden 4. The silver medal goes to Sweden. Real drama here in this final. And on the final stone.
Well, to be honest, it's a real shame that the game has to end that way. It's been a super game, both teams playing at an extremely high level. And just a bit of a misjudgment on that last stone. Here's another look. Maybe just set it back a little bit.
You did say, Logan, watch out for that. You did say that. You knew it was a danger.
Yeah, it's just one of those ones that's just a little bit in the eye line, and knowing the path that the stone needs to come down, it was always going to have to be close to that wide one. So for the first time in the game, Russia take the lead, and it's in the 10th end, the best time to do it. Hugs all round for Team Russia. Dan Raphael, the national coach there. Sergei Belanov done a super job this week with this young Russian team. First time at the European Championships and coming away with the gold medal. Fantastic performance. And Sweden were terrific today as well, but put themselves in a position to win, and just that one crucial shot to win the game, that's the only miss. So we saw the presentation of the European Championship trophy to gold medalists Russia. Fans clearly thrilled with that outcome. Some of the players from the B Arena into support. So here in the 6th end, Anna Hasselborg not with much room to work with at all. Needs to get the edge of the button to score 1. And this was a real crucial moment in the game. This allowed Russia to tie the game up perfect way. It just couldn't get the line. And for the first time since the first end, the game was tied, 3 each. Then in the 8th end, here's Anna Hasselborg once again, just trying to draw for 1. And the sweepers put this one right onto the lid. No problem at all. 4 each, such a tense final. Just 2 ends to come here in the 9th. Victoria Moisheva with a chance to score 2 and move ahead for the first time in the game. Just a soft weight takeout around the corner guard. And they're just begging this one to curl at the moment. If it curls 1 more inch, it's a score of 2. It doesn't. It's only 1. 4 each. And a 1-end shootout into the 10th end. Then here in 10, that high guard that was always going to be the problem for Anna Hasselborg. Just has to draw the 8-foot. Here on the final stone for the gold medal. And it just runs high and catches the top guard. Can you believe it? A steal in the 10th end. And Russia, European gold medalists 2016. Well, clearly the Swedish girls really disappointed. They got themselves into a position to win the game, and just that final stone just didn't work out for them. In contrast, the Russian team obviously elated.
So a European champion 2016, how does that sound?
We don't quite understand that happened to us. Of course, we were hoping for that, but that it happened, it just felt so great.
And what were you thinking as Anna was throwing that stone?
I thought she's gonna make it, but of course we did what we can so she wouldn't, but I didn't thought it will be that way, but that's happening. That's how it's, yeah.
And this is your first European Championship and you won the gold medal.
Yeah, it's so great. We didn't know we qualified from 4th place, and then we're here. So yeah, that really feels great.
And what do you have to say about your team this week?
Oh, they were so great, and I'm so thankful for what they were done for us and for me. And they were supporting me so good, and we were such a team. That was great.
And what do you think they'll make of this back home in Russia?
That's already tomorrow. We haven't been there for so long, and yeah, we're really excited to go back.
Congratulations, well done again.
Thank you.
And a silver medal, I know not the one you wanted. How do you feel?
I still can't believe that we actually lost. I played the exact same shot in 2 ends, and we had the same ice, and I have no idea why that last rock were running. I guess the path were a little bit warmer. I have no words. I can't still believe that we lost this game. It was there all along, and the curl didn't come, and I have no idea why.
And your team played such a great game throughout.
Yeah, I'm so proud of the team and how we have played the whole week, and I think that we really deserved to win that last one. And I'm pretty much still in shock. We didn't even think about the high guard when we put that broom down, and the sweeper said it was there all the time. So yeah, I'm proud of my team, but sad about the silver medal.
There's no point in asking. Thank you. Yep, very disappointed Anna Hasselborg, and she will relive that moment, I'm sure, Logan, a few times, won't she?
Yeah, it's always going to be, after a miss like that, what could we have done differently?
So that's the women's gold medal game decided. The men's game coming up a little later, but that's it from Logan Gray and me, Alison Walker. Bye for now.